So 2 days ago, I wrote a post on Facebook and I shared it on Instagram as well, pertaining to a very personal situation of mine that I experienced exactly 14 years and 9 months ago in Antigua. I was on a flight from Guyana, a Liat flight from Guyana, bounded to St. Martin, in transit in Antigua, fell ill junior in transit, hospitalized at Halberton Hospital on the Gwynetth O'Reilly ward. Uh, that was the very first time I actually shared that situation on a platform so grand. It took a whole lot to get out of this. It took a whole lot to get out of this because I've been dealing with that for so many years, and but I knew I had to. I felt, not even felt, I knew I had to. It was time. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you who have read my post. For each and every one of you who have shared it, commented, liked, loved, surprised, told a friend, inboxed me, called me, check up on me. Thank you. Really and truly, from the depths of my heart, I'm saying thank you. It was not easy for me to get out of that zone that I've been in for so long and share that, and especially for persons within my community here in St. Martin. They were like, what? Keoma, you? Yeah. There is so much that people live with, and you would never even believe. There is so much that people deal with on a daily basis. And a lot of people think that because when someone is speaking out, they think that, oh, they're crazy, they're this, they're that, just because they're acting outside of their zone, or outside of what they're accustomed, what they're known for. It's not all the time people are crazy. Most times they're not. It just means that they're going through something and they just want to release it. So yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you. I will make another video that highlights exactly what happened. I'm going to share exactly what happened. The reason why, just in case you all are wondering, the reason why everything after 12 years of basically silence, I was invited to speak at a conference in Antigua in 2016, and at that conference, there were various things that took place, but it got to the point where someone approached me. It was a female. She approached me and we had a very open conversation, I think it was a very engaging conversation. And at one point she mentioned she was a nurse, and so, you're a nurse? Yeah, she's retired. That conversation changed the whole trajectory of everything. That was like the crack of the concrete after 12 years. It was the first time in 12 years, that another human being, another single person, was speaking the exact same thing that I've experienced. It it still is crazy. Like, I don't know, I don't even know what word to use, but in ICU, I was hospitalized at a Gwynetth O'Reilly ward. There are nurses that I remember. One nurse from the Gwynetth O'Reilly ward that I remember is Nurse Babb. I remember her because she was Guyanese. I'm Guyanese. I remember Nurse Babb, and there was another nurse. I don't remember her name. She was a little bit thick, bit short, and brown skin. In the Gwynetth O'Reilly ward, there's a patient. The night I gave birth, I called for the nurses, and the nurses never came. And I called for a patient's help. She was dark skinned. She was like solid, like her body was solid. She wore a lavender color nightgown that night, a lavender color, like a very light purple nightgown. And I remember she had a tattoo with the letter P on her forearm. I don't know her, I don't know her name, but I remember her. She was the patient who helped me. There were no nurses that night that helped me at all that night. I called for them, they never came. I called her and she came. Even to after I delivered those children, even to after the children were born, The nurses never came back to me or attended to me. The patient, that particular woman, that girl, she was the one who attended to me. So if anyone knows her, or for you, if you are looking at me, it would be so massive if you can contact me, because everyone, you know, gave the impression that I gave birth to two children that were dead. I had a miscarriage. I gave birth to children who were stillborn, but they were not. And that girl who assisted me that night, she for sure will know. In that room also, in the Gwynetth O'Reilly ward, when I was there was a girl. She fell off of a truck and she was paralyzed. Her entire, like, she was always lying in her stomach, and her entire lower back was eaten away. Like, I don't know if it was a bad sore that went bad or what it was, but she was always loud and lively. Like, she was always vibrant. I remember her. She spoke loudly. And there was also a lady, an older lady. Her bed was on the farther end to mine. My bed was closer to a window. Her bed was a farther end to mine. And every night a girl would sleep in the ward with her. And I recall hearing one of the nurses or some nurse said the girl that is sleeping with her is her daughter, and that daughter, that girl who was sleeping with her, who's her daughter, is a registered nurse in Antigua. So if anyone, or if that particular nurse is watching, just, you know, I need as much help as I can get to unravel all of this. You know, in ICU, when I was placed in ICU after my surgery, there were two nurses I remember. One very, very clearly, I remember it was Nurse Warren. Nurse Warren was very nice. She was very pretty. Her hair was always pulled back in a ponytail, very clean. Like you can see that she took care of herself. I remember Nurse Warren very clearly. I remember Nurse Warren very clearly. She was a very nice person. And I remember also Nurse Bridgewater. I remember Nurse Bridgewater because of her name. Her name was very unusual to me. As I said, I'm going to make another video, but for now, I am asking anyone who look at this video, who read my post, if you know anything at all about this particular situation. I'm still trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. I really am. And it's nerve-wracking. But I do know that there are people who knows what happened to me. You know, the mere fact that someone could do something, or people could do what they did to me when I was at my most vulnerable state, I mean, sick, dying, on life support, like, I still can't grasp it, you know, but I'm still trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And as I said, if you know something, or if you know someone who knows something, or if you know one of the nurses that I mentioned, or whoever. Oh, there was also, I later found out that this person was my cousin, because when I arrived in Antigua, I never even knew I had family there. For me, I was in a strange place. But when I was in ICU, there was a nurse that came, and her name was Lynette Daniels. Lynette Daniels apparently was the head nurse. I think they call her Sister Daniels. She was the head nurse over the Gwynetth O'Reilly ward. Lynette Daniels, actually, I learned after that she was my cousin, and I never even knew who that woman was before. Never, ever, ever knew about her. So those are the persons, the names that I remember. If anyone at all knows anything at all, inbox me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. My email address is Keoma Hamer, that's KeomaHamer @gmail.com. Please, like, I just really need to get some kind of information. I do not have any birth certificate. I don't have a death certificate. I don't have nothing. I have nothing. So I will make a video giving all the details. I'm sure it will be more than one video, because the details, like, I will basically say everything. But for now, I'm really and truly asking for help. I'm asking anyone in Antigua knows the persons that I mentioned, the patient that assisted me that night, dark-skinned girl. She wore a lavender color nightgown that night, and she has a tattoo of a letter P on her forearm. Yeah,